Thank you to Salsa Magazine for this opportunity to share the stage with 4 other amazing women. And it's pretty cool that 2 women to watch are over the age of 50, right, Dr. Bloomquist? Woo! And I date myself by choosing Aerosmith's Dream On song from the 70s. My kids are probably shocked. But I chose it because tonight I want to talk about dreams. I started step by step in 1997 with a dream to help mothers to have healthy babies and to get a good start in their first year of parenting. And I started Farm 12 in 2019 as an extension of those relationships that we have with so many moms, to teach job and life skills, to put them on a career path, and to help them realize their dreams for themselves and for their families. But before we jumped into Farm 12 with both feet, we hand-selected 18 highly motivated step-by-step moms, and we met with them over the course of a year and a half. And one of the first exercises that I did with this group of 18 moms was one that I learned when I was an ambassador for Lululemon. And it was to talk to them about their dreams, to ask them to write down their 1, 5, and 10-year goals for their career, their family, their finances, and their health. Now, I knew that many of them, several of them, might have a difficult time with this exercise. But I cannot tell you how shocked I was when I looked out at the audience, the 18 women and others that were in the group, and the blank stares that came back at me, and the blank pages that had nothing written on them. And so I asked and inquired a little bit more, and one mom raised her hand and she said, "Krista, I've never dreamed in my life. I've just survived from one moment to the next." And I knew that I would hear some like that, but to know that all 18 of them felt like dreams were for other people and not for them was hard. I don't know about, well, let me back up. So from those discussions came Farm 12, and more importantly came our Dreams Work program, which is a 16-week intensive job readiness training program that we have for moms that come into the Farm 12 program. I don't know about you, but I can relate to the absence of a dream. I grew up on a farm in Henderson, Colorado, the oldest of 5 kids. My parents were poor. I must say that my parents cared a lot about parenting and about being good parents and about family. But my dad was a severe disciplinarian. And so I spent a lot of my childhood trying to stay under his radar. My dad also had very strong opinions about the roles of females in society. And so I stayed and played very small. I was incredibly shy and timid as a child. And I don't know that I ever remember dreaming, and if I did, I know that I too thought dreams were for other people and not for me. I graduated from high school and I went to college in St. Paul, Minnesota. I had to pay for my own schooling, and I was glad to get as far away from home as I possibly could. And while I was in college, I met 2 people that changed the course of my life. The first was a little girl named Leanne. I was Leanne's student teacher in her first grade classroom during my senior year in college. And the teacher told me that Leanne had fetal alcohol syndrome. And that happens when a mom drinks during pregnancy and damages the baby's brain. I connected with Leanne in a way that I've never bonded with another child outside of my own. We were together all the time, before school, during school, after school. And at the end of my time in her classroom, I got permission to take Leanne to the zoo. And I drove to her apartment. I went up to the door. It was slightly ajar. I knocked, and a very cold voice told me to come in. And I pushed open the door, and there, in a dark, cold, filthy apartment, sat her mom. I scanned the room, and I saw Leanne. And the moment that her eyes connected with mine and she saw me, her face just lit up. And I didn't know, Mom didn't say anything, and I didn't really know what to do next, so I just took Leanne and we left for the day. And we had a fabulous time together. And at the end of that day, I knew I was going to have to take her back into this home environment. And I did, and shortly after, she was put in foster care, and I never saw her again. The second person I met in college that's changed my life is my husband, John. John and I got married in 1993. We had our first daughter in 1995. Then we had our second daughter. Then we had our third daughter. Then we had our fourth daughter. Then we had our fifth daughter. And then, just kidding, we had our sixth daughter. And then we had our seventh daughter. And there are no twins. And yes, we're done, although I don't get that question anymore. And we are neither Mormon nor Catholic. But when I held my first daughter, Laura, who's here tonight, and 6 of my girls are here. The 7th one lives in Boise. But when I held my first daughter in my arms for the first time, it was then that experience with Leanne haunted me as I imagined my little girl in that situation. And I couldn't help but wonder over and over again if Leanne's story would have been different, if her mom had had some support, if her mom had had some resources, if her mom had a dream. From the moment that John and I met, he had an amazing way of talking with me, to me, in a way that made me feel like I was capable of doing anything that I set my mind to. And it took some getting used to be talked to like that. John had the opportunity to meet Leanne when he was in college with me. And as I was talk about the heartbreak of that situation, and as we started our own family, his immediate question to me was, "What are you waiting for?" And so in 1997, with a toddler and an infant, I started step by step in my laundry room. And over the years, we have impacted the lives of more than 20,000 mothers and their babies. John and I have been married for 31 years. We have 7 amazingly capable daughters. We have 3 sons-in-laws, and we have 2 grandsons. How cool is that? But the coolest thing is that Step by Step and Farm 12 employ about 200 people. Many of them are step-by-step moms with a dream. And we are not done yet. As I thought about how to make a dream a reality and what I've learned over the years, I could probably talk for about an hour on that. But I've chosen 3. The first is that dreams need other people. Who you allow to speak into your life is probably the most critical determinant of your success. Whether that's your peer groups, whether that's who and if you choose to marry, your social media, choose these voices wisely. Number 2, dreams don't happen in our comfort zone. In about 2010, I was at a step-by-step board meeting, and my board collectively told me that I needed to be more the face of the organization. I needed to be more public-facing. Well, my heart seized because I hate the word public anything, public speaking, public-facing, but yet I knew that my bigger dream was going to require this of me. And so I began to take some speaking opportunities, and one of the first ones that I took was in front of probably a crowd this size. And I had prepared a video, and over the video was a certain song with certain words. And after the video, I was going to speak, playing off those words. And instead, the host said to the AV guy, "Turn off the music, and Krista, speak over the video to save time." Well, that didn't happen. And the video rolled on for 2.5 to 3 minutes in complete and utter silence. And it was probably one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. And I replayed how awful that felt over and over again in my mind. And I could have just said, I suck at this. I suck at public speaking, and I'm just going to give up. But instead, I went back and I talked to my husband, and he said, let's join Toastmasters. Toastmasters is an international public speaking club. And I tell people all the time that if I had not learned to step out of my comfort zone, if I had not learned to face and improve that weakness, the $25 million that I've needed to raise in order to see Farm 12 come to fruition would never have happened. And the generations of lives that will be impacted by Farm 12 would have never happened. And number 3, what's near and dear to me, is to make sure that your dreams include your most important relationships. John and I have had the normal stresses of 2 separate careers, of marriage, of parenting times 7. And then we've had some unusually trying times. In 2004, our 5th daughter, Clara, was born at 28 weeks, weighing only 2 pounds. She has had 18, we're missing a slide there. She has had 18 brain surgeries over the course of her childhood, and I had a serious battle with cancer. And I am pleased to say that Clara, oh, that picture's not in there either. Clara can stand up because she's here. Clara is 20 years old and a beautiful college graduate, and I am 15 years cancer-free. And I know how difficult it is to balance everything well. But it has taken a lot of discipline, it's taken a lot of sacrifice, and it's taking knowing what needs to give and when in order to protect those most important relationships. So I challenge you tonight that no matter your age, no matter your circumstances, you've got a God-given purpose. Dreams are not for others. They are unique to you and to your story. Surround yourself with people who inspire you and encourage you to dream. Live constantly outside of your comfort zone. And make sure that as you dream, your dreams include your most important relationships. And in the words of Aerosmith, dream on.